Everyone, welcome to Group 1 Article Critic Presentation. Our topic of the day is dirty water in Kelantan, Malaysia. And before we start, my name is Cheng, and I would like to introduce my other group mates. So starting from the left, you have me, and then Robert, and Hilmi, and after that is Zaip. So so I will give you the overview of this presentation, which is we start off with introduction, which will be presented by me, and methodology presented by Hilmi, result presented by Zaip, and then discussion presented by Robert. And lastly, I will talk about the conclusion and recommendation. Next, our article of critic of the day is an analysis of well water quality in the district of Pasir Puteh, Kelantan, Malaysia, which is published by Hasim M. And let me provide you with some context of this article, which is what is this article about and what is the objective of the article. For starters, we are
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Hilmi bin Kamrul Azman, and I would like to talk about the methodology section for the article critique. In this section, we will discuss the summary of the methodology as well as the critique. So firstly, a summary of the methodology. Water samples were collected based on geographical location. In this article, the water samples were collected both in an urban area, an agriculture area, a former landfill site, as well as an industrial area. After that, the samples were taken once during the monsoon season as well as during the transitional monsoon period. From the samples, they were analyzed based on the water quality index established by the Malaysian Department of Environment. And whilst the procedures carried out by Hashim and his team were appropriate, the accuracy and the reliability of the results can be improved. The first part of the critique comes with the methods that Hashim and his team employed limited the description of the contamination in the area. As shown from another study conducted by Pons and his team, where they conducted a water analysis based on an outbreak of disease in the area. The methodology employed by Pons and his team can possibly expand the sample variety and give more idea of the level of contamination in Pasir Puteh, Kelantan. The next part of my critique covers how the 2-month time frame for the original report was too short and gave very limited insight in the contamination of the water in Pasir Puteh, Kelantan. As shown from a previous study by Talib in 2015, the assessment in water quality took place during the monsoonal, dry, and wet season. The extended period of time for the water sample analysis gave further insight into the contamination based on the geographical locations. Finally, I would like to say that Hashim and his team states that conscious well water quality assessment should be conducted continuously. However, in the original report, Hashim and his team does not outline any limitations towards the study or results. Thank you.
Results. All the results were correctly interpreted. There was no conflicting data regarding the studies. As for controls, there were no controls established in the studies and were instead compared to the Malaysian Department of Environment Water Quality Index. The figures and tables are easily understood. Appropriate use of bar charts and tables can be seen, making it easy to find the according data. The tables are clear and allows readers to visualize and get a grasp of the data recording the study. As for the key findings are clearly expressed. All findings were properly classified and presented. No assumptions were made as only data is being collected.
Hi, my name is Robert Maxwell Odongo, and I was responsible for the discussion section of our article critique report on the water contamination in Kelantan, Malaysia. I based my discussion off the following criteria: whether the questions were answered, whether the research fit into the context of the field, whether it made its important contribution to the field, its strengths as well as its weaknesses. So to start off, yes, Hashim did answer the research question, and it was addressed through his methodology, through his results from the 6 parameters that he used and the samples that he had taken from different locations. Through his findings, he did indicate locations where there was class 3 contamination, and through his research paper, it fit into the context of his field as it provided insight into the kinds of contamination found in the area. And his research paper did make an important contribution, as it has been used in other research papers as reference due to his results and his findings. And it has helped reinforce ideas about land use and contamination in the water in Kelantan. So the strength of his research really is his very clear methodology. The sampling and all the results he had collected is very extensive. Using the parameters, he did not only choose one, but he used multiple to find or to draw conclusions. And that really is the strength of his research. It's very credible, as many other people have also used his research in their own papers as reference. However, he did have a couple of weaknesses. That was his failure to mention the health implications. And when we talk about water contamination, health implications is a very important factor to take in, as it not only affects the people but the environment around. So that is one area he failed to go into. Another one would be the policy and remediation. So what was done in place to fix or to find solutions to the water contamination. He did not really dive that much into that. It would have been better if he included that, so it gives us an idea of what needed to be done, or what still needs to be done to counter the problem of water contamination in Kelantan.
Thank you, Robert, for doing discussion. Now we will proceed to conclusion. Firstly, the overall article did explore the water quality index of Pasir Puteh, Kelantan, with appropriate measures and detailed reason for some of the abnormal data. However, other parameters like heavy metal and microorganisms are not considered as a possible contaminant, and we still don't know the long-term side effect if it left untreated. Lastly, there's no any recommendation for improvement and solution. We arrive in recommendation. I have provided 3 recommendations. The first one year experiment. Instead of a limited two-month time frame to gather data, why not we extend the data collection to a year, so we gather a more precise water quality index value. And the second recommendation is the investigation of other contaminants like heavy metal and microorganism. If one of them is present, we can at least alert the local communities. And the third recommendation is the constant water monitoring, like the local water supply, which is IA Kelantan Sendiri Berhad, should monitor the water quality index regularly and prepare for countermeasures if necessary. And that's all for the presentation. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.